Hey, what's up guys? Matt here from Loon Outdoors, and today we're out here kind of in the wilderness, little creek behind us. We're going to talk about some dry fly fishing. Now, dry fly fishing is kind of probably one of the most fun things you can do in fly fishing. It's visual, it's a game of spot and stalk a trout. You see what he's doing, where he's feeding, and you're trying to get a fly dead drifted through that feeding lane. There's a ton of cool equipment out there. There's a ton of fun equipment out there that'll make your experiences more enjoyable, whether you're running like a classic little mini fiberglass rod or, you know, a high performance little rig that will laser beam a fly out at 50 feet if you need be. So I'm going to kind of walk through most of my kit for my summertime dry fly fishing, which happens to be on small creeks. I have a blast fishing glass rods. They're super fun, kind of nostalgic for me. It's what I learned to fish on back in the day. And this is going to be used for me a lot on like little creeks, backpacking scenarios, stuff like that, where my shots are in nice and tight. So some of the key features that you're going to need obviously is a weight forward styled floating line, a rod, a reel, these kind of things. Well, the line might not be totally obvious, but you know, a rod and a reel are completely obvious. Some of the other little tricks and tips of stuff to make your day better is, you know, you're going to need a good assortment of floatants. Loon luckily makes a ton of sauces that will get you through everything. Probably the easiest to carry, there's two. It's either going to be lock saw or fly dip. Now, both of these are a liquid. You can see they're both very liquidy in nature. Lock saw is a gel. Fly dip is a dip floatant that then dries and leaves multiple series of hydrophobic compounds, meaning water resistant or repellent compounds on your fly. Probably our most popular floatant is going to be Aquel, always a good one to carry. And one thing that a lot of guys don't think about is people really confuse Easy Dry as a floatant. Well, Easy Dry isn't really a floatant, it's a drying agent. So after you've made that shot, you've caught those 5 fish out of that run that were all showing themselves and rising to a dry fly. Get your fly in there, dry it off before you retreat so you're not locking water into the fly. Another little clever piece of equipment is some Pyatt paste. For me, I love it. It's going to help my leader float, keeps everything working just smooth as, you know, silk. The next thing you're going to need is a leader. Now, there are a ton of leaders on the market. This one happens to be a 10-foot. This one's a 0X. It's obviously not going on the glass rod, but it's just for an example. I pulled it out of the box. Duh. So you can either go nylon or fluorocarbon. I typically prefer to go with a nylon leader. It doesn't sink. One of the other cool things that a lot of people don't do. So if you get into a situation where you're getting to throw big dries, big foam bugs, stuff like that, you may want to consider a poly leader. Now, a lot of guys who fish for steelhead go, man, I have tons of poly leaders. Well, they come in a trout version as well. The cool thing with this, it's just a nice, big, clear extension of your fly line. So if you're struggling to turn over, say, that giant chubby at 30 feet to a rising fish or hitting a bank when your guide's yelling at you in the background, try a poly leader. They have a little bit more mass. They're incredibly reusable. You're going to spend, you know, a little bit more money on a poly leader, but it's going to turn over those big bugs and it's going to be a better continuation of your fly line, which means that you're going to have a little bit better transfer of power when you make that shot. Obviously, you can go 2 ways. Nylon, which doesn't sink as fast as fluorocarbon, for your tippet material. And of course, you're going to want to go like whatever you're fishing. If you're fishing giant bugs, maybe you're getting away with 3X and they're just chowing hoppers off the bank.
Best barrels ever, dude.
But you might need to go to 4, 5, 6, 7, even 10X sounds ridiculous, but there's times when there's that fish on that super pressured water. So having a good assortment of tippet, leader materials, floatants, and everything like that is really going to make your day on the water just that much better. Obviously, I could go through the whole rig for you guys, but it's pretty simple. It's fly line, leader, to tippet, to your fly. One of the cool things you can do is throw a tippet ring in there, and that's going to not only extend the life of your leader, but also a poly leader as well. And they're so small these days that they're not going to really sink and pull your fly down. Hopefully that helps you guys out, kind of get geared up. Things to think about for dry fly fishing, whether it's on a big river in a eddy line in the evening where sipping spinners, or you're pounding the banks with a big chubby Chernobyl or giant foam hopper pattern, or else you're having a lot of fun and chasing thin blue lines up in the mountains. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching this segment of Tailgate Talks. We'll catch you next time. GoPro, stop recording.